Balance basic vocals, Krisiun.
I am Max Glasny, and I play drums for Krisiun. You must know that there are metalheads who can't listen to death metal because they think the vocals are too much, too extreme.
Right.
But your vocals are in the human range, so I think that you attract people from thrash who are too afraid of death metal vocals. But everything that you do is a man's voice, not like not a fake demon, not a whatever. And can you talk about what made you do that? Did you ever feel pressured to do the guttural?
I'm glad you noticed that, because I definitely try to come up with something different, you know. I mean, even though for some people it sounds the same, but I think it's all about experience, you know. I mean, and we've been doing that for so long, and then always thought about it like, you know, I mean, you gotta sound brutal, right? You gotta sound fast, you gotta sound extreme, but somehow you gotta make people understand what you're doing, you know. I mean, like I was saying, some of the other guys, I mean, I've got no problem with that. I mean, they do anything they wanted, you know. I mean, but some of them, they sounded just like a constant flat line, you know. I mean, either like on a low range or a high range, you know what I mean? And I grew up listening to Slayer and early Metallica and some of those heavy metal bands, you know what I mean? And, yeah, man, just try to come up with something different, you know what I mean? More like understandable, you know what I mean? Keep it crispy, you know what I mean? Keep it like, you know what I mean, powerful somehow, but try to, you know what I mean, like, pure gut sound, you know what I mean, like for real, you know what I mean, not just some of those death metal singers, you feel like they are trying to not to go tyrant, you know what I mean, like saving themselves like for the next song or something like that. We do, that's not the way we do, you know what I mean, we go for it and just try to deliver as raw, as fast, as brutal as you can.
And would you say that the main emotion that you have in your voice is anger?
It could be. It could be anger and a mixture of all different feelings, but it's more like the mind thing and the way that you wanted to deliver it, you know what I mean? I'm not an angry dude, you know what I mean? Of course we see things going on, we speak about it, you know what I mean, but we just try to have some fun, you know what I mean, but definitely like, you know, being from a third world country, you know what I mean, it makes you maybe like more aggressive in some ways, you know.
But when I first heard Black Forest Domain, it was both raw and the production was very clean. But the people in the recording studio did not know how to record death metal drumming. Could you describe that experience?
I think they kind of knew, but for sure, that was the first time they were recording a death metal band. You know, they had some experience with like a thrash metal band before. You know, so yeah, we got this like balance between real raw sounding and then kind of clear at the same time. I mean, it's all like mics, and you know, just we were very young, unexperienced, but we knew what we wanted to do, you know.
some bands who, in the early days, they had a bad experience with the studio, and so it was a bit muddy. And like, for instance, Skepticism from Finland, they just remastered their first album, and it sounds totally different. But there's no need to do that with Black Forest Domain.
No, I don't think so, man. I think if
So you got lucky.
if we touch that album, it's gonna, make it worse.
And Black Forest Domain t-shirts are on tour. They're in your merch table this time. So when was the last time that was available?
We always bring it up. It's always around, you know what I mean? We even changed the logo a little bit just for the sake of a change, you know what I mean? But yeah, it's always the best seller, man. I don't know why kids like the fucking pentagram, I don't know.
And the Upside Down Cross.
Yeah, that too.
Did any of you ever get into a fight with someone in the recording studio?
Not in the recording studio.
A little fist fight, you know.
Arguments.
Arguments a lot, for sure.
Really?
Sure.
Any? You want to share any reasons? Have you?
I guess every fucking band, dude. Like, it's always like, you know what I mean?
It can be stressful, man. Different ideas, and you have to.
Ideas will clash, you know.
Yeah, exactly. That's what we were talking about before. Like the producer, he has to understand the band and what the band needs, to sound like the band, and they have to follow the band's identity, and keep that. And some guys, they try to change, like I have a band like Krisiun, for example. You can't make the band like too clean or too square. It has to be raw. It has to be natural. It has to be the way we are. If you change that, it's not the same.
Have you seen the movie Turistas?
I didn't.
All right. Well, I'll just ask one question. I thought it was a good horror movie, and I liked that they found a reason to have girls in G-strings for most of the movie. They were swimming, and someone took their clothes. But the idea of the movie is that there are doctors in Brazil who kidnap tourists and take their kidneys and stuff like that and give to the poor people.
I think I saw that. I tried to see that movie, but it's
well, an actress from Brazil who was in one of my movies, she laughed and she said that in Brazil, no doctor would ever steal from a tourist and give it to a poor person. So is there in Brazil, not really hatred or prejudice, but are poor people really not as loved as, like, let's say in America, they have all these programs for them? Is Brazilian society not good toward poor people?
Yeah, I think it's like everywhere, man. Like, poor people, like, put aside society, Yeah. Even though there's, like, resources and stuff and some help, it ever, you know, I mean, will be treated like.
They was gonna give the poor people a little something to make them happy, but in a way, like the only way to have like the most rich people in the world is having poor people at the same time. You can't be a millionaire without using or abusing the poor people because you pay them little, you know, salaries. Give them something, you know, give them peanuts, and then you can have your own island, your own jets and shit. You know, that's
Is that the business plan of Krisiun?
we're doing it right now.
You've traveled the world. Have you noticed a big difference between the way the news and the media talks about people and the way you see people the way they are?
Yeah, definitely, man. Like talking about like fake news, for example. You know, I mean, there's a lot of rumors, a lot of gossip going on everywhere, and yeah, man, I've seen a lot of shit, man, a lot of lies. Like it's just everywhere. You know, I mean, I think the big media is just never really trustworthy. You know, I mean, but yeah, it's just my opinion. You know, man, I don't know. But like, you know, I mean, some news you can't avoid it, and they're there for sure. But especially these days, you know, I mean, talking politics and elections and all this shit. So there's a lot of rumors, gossip going on. Like,
You can talk a lot of shit. You can talk a lot of shit on the internet because you know nobody's gonna punch you in the face. That's, you know, it's so easy. You can talk shit about everybody. Just run your mouth because you know you're hiding.
Everyone is strong behind a
Exactly.
little self.
Real lives, like, you know, talking face to face, you know, seeing people, going out, meeting people, making friends. You have to understand and learn how to respect people, how to socialize and live with other people. And nowadays, like a lot of people, they just stay behind the computers. They have their own lives. They feel so strong. They feel best. They can see whatever they want. But that's not the real life.
America is supposed to be a free country, but Krisiun, of all bands, had some shows shut down, even in Texas. Do you want to talk about that? Like, how does that happen in a free country?
Oh man, I don't know. Yeah, we had a couple of shows canceled with a last minute, but I wouldn't, you know, I mean, like, I'm not American, you know, I mean, so I don't feel like talking about, you know, I mean, like, I'm here, you know, I mean, I had lots of opportunities in here, you know, I mean, and I noticed, like, you know, I mean, different points of view, like, people think differently, you know what I mean? And, I mean, they had a couple of shows canceled, but other than that, we always had the chance to come over and play a bunch of shows, you know what I mean? And,
But did it surprise you that you're in a free country?
yeah,
Christians
definitely.
destroyed the show?
It was like a little place, you know, this little church.
That's kind of the kind of shit you can expect anywhere.
Oh, anywhere really.
Anywhere, because it's like when you have politicians and religion together, it's the worst. You know, this kind of stupid people try to control what's going on, what's happening. You know, it's like this everywhere.
Hundreds of shows that we've done over here, you know, I mean, it happened for a couple of times. It's not
Politicians.
But I understand what you know, your view too. It's crazy. You shouldn't get canceled at any cost.
Krisiun, when it began, you didn't really get much help from the Brazilian scene. You had to prove yourself, and once the whole world paid attention to you, then you started getting respect from your own country. Are you angry about that? Do you look back and have some bad feelings?
No, not at all, man. I mean, it's part of the process, I guess. It kind of happens everywhere. When you go out and you show, you know,
But do you,
people that you can do that, people respect you for that.
but there were other bands from Brazil that seemed to have support right away from your countrymen, and you had to fight to get the respect.
Yeah, especially because we moved from the south up to Sao Paulo. Then we got there and we're like, a strange band, you know what I mean? It was like the local scene, you know what I mean? We tried to play like somehow, like, you know what I mean? Hook up with the bands and play local shows. And we definitely dealt with some kind of a prejudice for sure. I mean, some of the big shots, no, these guys. But like I said, it was like it's part of the process. Some of the stuff.
In the 90s, you know, like mid-90s, all the bands were weakening out, you know, slowing down. All the like the classics, the classical bands from the 80s, they were all trying to fit the new trends, like grunge, playing this jump music, whatever, you know, trying to mix it up metal with some kind of shit, you know. So everybody's kind of lost, and we're this brutal, extreme, old school death metal band, and a lot of bands are like, I don't know about these guys. So we were going against all this fucking trend back in the 90s, beginning in the mid-90s. I mean, here, death metal was going strong. But like the mainstream metal, thrash metal, all the bands, they were all going, jumping in this fucking grunge and jump, whatever trend.
So you resisted the urge to join the black metal bandwagon. So
Oh yeah,
Definitely. It was a thing when we first signed up to this record label in Germany, and the guys were asking us to the makeup thing. You know?
Corpse paint, really?
they're like, maybe you guys should try it.
You should try the corpse paint. Oh no, man, we're already ugly enough.
Do you have any opinions that you'd like to share about what happened with Celtic Frost and Cold Lake?
Oh man, it was just.
Like, can you respect a band like that when they get back together? Remember they put Monotheist together, but
I respect the legend, you know. I mean, those records, you know. I mean, they're absolutely fantastic, you know. I mean, so influential. But definitely was a big turn down, you know. I mean, it was I couldn't really believe that one of the greatest satanic death black metal bands turned into a fucking glam band, you know what I mean? But I respected the legend, you know what I mean? And it was definitely a wrong move.
so you're not going to put out your old Cold Lake?
No,
I don't think
at all.
You're the kind of band that likes to talk to people after the show, and so you've been all over the world and you've experienced other cultures. I always say that metal brings everybody together, but you must have noticed some cultures that are different. Did any behavior in other parts of the world confuse you or make you question?
Yeah, man, sometimes,
But I mean, like, metal fans are all...
No, but I'm saying, like, you know, some of the travels, you know what I mean, some of the stuff I had to do with at the airport, you know what I mean, so
you have to do with, like, the local, you know, politics.
Yeah.
Oh, really?
Prejudice.
Middle East.
Like, metal people, they're all cool people everywhere.
Yeah, metal people in general are like, you know, I mean,
go play Russia, for example, the people there are nice, you know, like the metalheads are nice like us, you know, as I said. Metal brings people together. When you play there, people will be nice to us. They want to buy us a beer, vodka. Hey, come on, my friend. I want to pay you a beer. I'm happy you're here playing, for from Brazil playing death metal here in my country, so we're all metal brothers. So that's metal keeps people together.
There are some metal bands that have played countries that are very poor, like in Eastern Europe, Bulgaria, Romania. So what was it like for you? To see the poor people there experience your music.
It was cool, man. We see like lots of things, you know what I mean? Like, you know what I mean? If we're talking poverty, you know what I mean? We see it like down in South America and as for Europe, nothing really surprising, you know what I mean? It's just, I think it's worse, you know what I mean?
Oh, really? And have you ever played Japan or?
Yes.
Oh, you have?
We play Asian a lot of times, just some years, every year, like before the pandemic, you know what I mean? Like, I think we've been to Japan for 4 times already. A bunch of shows around Asia.
Interesting. So you never thought that the world would be like this when you first started, right?
No. Myself, I never expected. I thought we'd go like Europe, North America. Maybe when it first started. But I would never expected like to go further, like towards Asia, Middle East, Australia. Australia is fucking awesome.
And is there a danger that you'll ever run out of ideas? Like, did you ever think about doing a side project to explore other musical sides of you?
I never did, man. I mean, I might have like sometimes jam, like with friends, just fuck around, do whatever, music, just relax. But I never thought about having a side project.
Same thing, man. I like jamming with some friends, like different types of music, but just for fun, you know. I mean, when it comes to be like, you know, I mean, focus on something, focus on some type of music. It's, you know, I love. You know, that's what we do, man. I'm like,
so I'm all Krisiun.
You got,
Death metal warriors. You know, we did quite this band.
I have never been to Brazil, but I was told by one reader of my magazine from Brazil that the police in Brazil are very brutal. And he was telling me some stories. And then I've traveled different parts of America, and one part in Massachusetts, Cambridge, I went to see Fintroll play, and I went outside just to check something in my car, and a cop asked me, why am I on the sidewalk? And I thought he was joking, but he said, you have to have a good reason to be on the street. He was not joking. And then when the show finished, I was hanging out with the band after, and a cop came by and said, you have to move the bus. And they said, the bus driver's not here. He said, do you want to go to jail? Move the fucking bus.
Wow.
And I thought it was a joke. I didn't know police could act like this, but in recent years, police in America have become famous for some abuses, but do you as Brazilians laugh? Because your police are a bit more brutal than this, right?
No, I don't laugh. I think it's a serious thing, you know. I mean, it is kind of different, but at the same time, kind of the same deal, you know. I mean, just the brutal cops, you know. I mean, like, I think it's up to the individual, you know. I mean, it's not like the whole guys, the whole squad of cops. But I don't know, man. It takes me more dense and darker for the past few years. So yeah, Brazil, there's a lot of police brutality, man. Like,
but you would never have defund the police in Brazil.
When we were kids, we had a few, like, you know, I mean, like, a few issues, you know, I mean, with the cops, you know, I mean. But we never been busted, we never been to jail or anything, but I took a couple of bloods at the time, my stomach, you know, I mean, we were smoking weed at some place, and the cops showed up, and they were aggressive, but nobody gets shot or anything.
It's just weird how it seems that some people only watch life on television. They don't live. They've never seen anything fucked up happen.
Yeah, no, yeah, it's a different deal, man. Like I said, like we were saying before, it's a lot of gossip, a lot of bullshit. Real life's different.
Established the trust. Every album that you have, I don't have to hear it. I can trust that it'll have a great production. It'll be heavy. But did you ever think about maybe we'll spend a little less money on the production this time? Like,
Yeah,
it seems like it's a priority for you to always have an excellent production.
Man. We do whatever we have to do to accomplish things that we trying to make it happen, you know. I mean, sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't, but we don't fucking care, man. We fucking let it go, try to get something done. We give everything we got. We never try to save money or anything. Put everything we got.
I don't want to make it seem like you don't like certain fans, but we have lived in a time when death metal people were death metal people, and now there's a lot of pussies in death metal. Do you want to talk about any of this? People getting offended, people being very political, crying.
I don't get offended with anything, but it's a lot of bullshit out there, things that change drastically, you know what I mean? And I would say just only a few bands out there really carrying the torch, you know what I mean? If you talk like savage, real death metal, you know what I mean? Talk the old spirit. All those new bands, most of those bands are programmed and edits and they play lightly, you know what I mean?
They don't even, a lot of these kids, they don't live the real metal life that we used to. We started this band to have fun first, play the music loud, and we used to go to the shows and get drunk and meet people, and we love to see and know people from other bands. It was more like a real connection we had with the scene and everybody else. And nowadays, a lot of people, they just stay in their little room writing music to a computer. They don't talk to the other people. They don't share ideas with real people. They're kind of very selfish world. Just think they're the shit. They do all by themselves. They don't drink, party. They don't go to other shows. They don't support the scene. It's all more like individualistic world.
Do you ever sometimes think that you're too old for this metal world?
Not yet.
Not yet.
Getting there.
But, like, when we were young, we used to think about old people yelling about young people. Like, have you turned into that old person yelling about the way young people are today?
Not yet, man, but definitely we're all getting old, man.
It used to be the opposite, Usually old people in the past, older people than us would say like, "Hey, you're too crazy," And now we have to say those kids are fucking pussies. They don't do nothing anymore. They're not crazy. We are crazy.
Could you share a story of Sepultura and the drummer replacement? Or you don't want to say
that's
that?
personal.
All right, that's
Yeah, we
personal.
can't,
Yeah.
unfortunately.
But because of the world being pussy today, do you have to watch what you say? Does it bother you that you have to watch what you say?
It bothers me. Like sometimes, I don't really care about it. If I have something to say, I'll say it for sure. That's why I had to deal with a bunch of haters, a bunch of bullshit. But it's not like it used to be that you can just fucking say anything about it, you know what I mean? You might go to jail next day, you know what I mean? They can fucking bust your ass for saying something. So yeah, I definitely gotta pay attention to what you're saying. But
What do you think about the people who tattletale on you? Like, oh, he said this. Or they pretend that you meant
those
something.
people are my biggest followers, you know what I mean? Like, the biggest fans are the ones which are like chasing you, you know what I mean? And keeping an eye on you. Every movie you do, people be like, they fucking love to hate me, you know what I mean? So yeah, I think it only makes us more mean and stronger in a way, you know what I mean? Because if we piss people off for no reason, absolutely no reason sometimes, it's because just people hate to love you, you know what I mean?
Long time ago, if someone recorded your band live, you got kicked out of the show.
Yeah, man.
And now the audience, everyone's videotaping you on the
Yeah,
phone.
it's just crazy. Everything just changes. Like, it's even hard to understand, but us here, we managed to survive, you know, I mean, 30 years. We're here still dealing with all these different things, you know what I mean? In some way, somehow, we're trying to keep it up, the spirit, you know what I mean? Like, let's say people judge you, people hate you, but we don't care, man. We keep doing what we like, we keep going, man.
What do you think the next challenge will be? The next new trend that you have to adapt, right? You can't just say, no, I'm not going to.
Our next challenge is to keep moving and get inspired to do a few more records. Every new record is the challenge we embrace, you know what I mean? That motivates us. I got motivated, like, in the band, from the guys, you know what I mean? That's my main motivation, because when time comes to start writing new stuff, that's the big challenge. Like being on the road, you know what I mean? Being away from home a couple of months. All these things, you know what I mean? That's it always, you know what I mean? It's like a fucking cycle, you know what I mean? Keep moving through, you know what I mean? That's our main challenge.
If you weren't in Krisiun, what would you be doing?
I think I'll be a football player, man. A soccer player, football, soccer.
I have no idea, man. Something like that, you know.
So Krisiun saved your life.
I think so.
Yeah, I mean, I'll be a sucky football player, but I would definitely try it. And yeah, I mean, that's what I do, man. I'm not wanting it down, or just nothing. That's what I do.
Have you been doing Krisiun non-stop since you began?
Kind of, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, it took some time for us to, you know, like we started the band in 1992, and then it took a few years for us to start to tour, like recording, get the cycle of like recording, and then releasing the album and go on tour for a few years, and then record again, you know. Then started, I would say, like in 1998, 97. That's when we started, like, to be in the cycle of recording.
I'm curious. You spent a long time together. Did you ever become enemies with each other?
No, not really. awareness. Never. We have some arguments sometimes, and fights here and there. And it's impossible.
We are friends for life.
Yeah, best friends of each other. We got each other's back.
But what would happen, like, let's say if one of you died of COVID, would Krisiun go on?
No.
No?
So, in his house, you know, if I die, I'm sure they'll keep playing it. Like, I don't know, actually. They might hook up with somebody else, but I think they'll start something different, you know.
You seem very tired.
Yeah, man.
Yeah.
We are.
But thank you for taking the time for all this.